we're previewing the match that is coming up in half an hour from now. It is South Africa versus Sri Lanka, and South Africa have won the toss and surprise, surprise, no surprise in this case, have decided to field. I have with me Nikhil Narayan to look ahead to this contest. Nikhil, South Africa went through the whole taking the knee controversy, but now it's time to focus on the match, on the field action. But having said that, all eyes will still be on Quinton de Kock.
Absolutely, Meha. As we speak, Quinton de Kock is playing this match. He comes in for Klaasen, not surprising at all. I'm sure he will, not take one knee today. I think he'll, take both the knees today. Yes, so coming back to the match, important match for both the teams. They won one and lost one in the tournament. They're still in the fray. South Africa especially, they can still upset, one of England and Australia and give a run, sort of cause an upset and make it to the semis from this group. What I'm looking forward to today, though, is, the contest between the Sri Lankan spinners and the South African batsmen. I think that will decide the match. But overall, I think South Africa start favourites because of the head-to-head.
That's right. In fact, we will talk about the head-to-head in details, Nikhil, but it's South Africa all the way. When you look at the recent past as well, South Africa toured Sri Lanka in September, whitewashed that, and interestingly, it was the South African spinners who wreaked havoc on the Sri Lankan batting lineup. You saw that even with the way they batted against Adam Zampa. This Sri Lankan batting lineup is struggling against good spin.
Absolutely. If we see the head-to-head, we just spoke about, South Africa lead 11-5 in the 16 matches they've played together in T20I cricket. They have dominated Sri Lanka since 2018. It's a 6-1 record since 2018. And in the T20 World Cup, they've met thrice, and it's 2-1 to South Africa. So, all the stats in the head-to-head point towards a South African, victory today.
Also looking at South Africa and their batting, one of the things we've seen, Nikhil, is that, yes, there was all the talk about how they are dependent on Quinton de Kock, but when Quinton de Kock decided to withdraw his name from the last game, Reza Hendricks was brought in, and I'm sure it would have been a difficult moment for the team, for Reza Hendricks as well, just suddenly being told in the dressing room that you have to go out and play in place of Quinton de Kock. But he played well, and I think that's one of the things you see with this South African team in this tournament that will work for them, that you have a Reza Hendricks who's playing well. Aiden Markram played well in the last game as well. So yes, Quinton de Kock, a very key player, mainstay of this team, but the others are among the runs.
Absolutely. They have a decent batting lineup. There's Reza Hendricks, there's Markram, there's Quinton de Kock, there is David Miller, who's very experienced. They don't have the superstars anymore, except de Kock. I mean, there is no AB, there's no Hashim Amla, the two big superstars. But they still have a good enough team, batting and bowling, to cause one or two big surprises in this tournament. We spoke about de Kock. I think, Mia, he will be the mainstay for South Africa, in this match and for the remainder of the tournament. And I think whatever has transpired in the last 2 to 3 days will inspire de Kock to produce his best. And when he fires, his team wins, whether it's Mumbai Indians and whether it's South Africa. He has a brilliant average of 34 and strike rate of 138 in all T20 cricket. South Africa has won 7 of the 11 matches when he scored 50 plus, and he has a T20I average of 45 and a strike rate of 144 for South Africa since 2019. So big player de Kock.
And the other player with de Kock is Anrich Nortje. How formidable is this bowling lineup as well? Because not only do you have two express fast bowlers in Rabada and Nortje, you also have a very potent spin department with Tabriz Shamshi. There is Keshav Maharaj and Aiden Markram. I wouldn't be surprised if they start with Aiden Markram like they did in the last game against West Indies. Absolutely.
They could well start with Markram. I mean, although Sri Lanka are very good players of spin bowling. So I'm not quite sure that will be the strategy in this match. But coming back to the bowling unit, yes, their bowling is more potent than their batting. Rabada and Nokia are a brilliant opening fast bowling pair. Nokia was in the form of his life in the second half of the IPL in the UAE on the same pitches. Nokia is fast, accurate, 145, 150 kilometers per hour. He bowls almost a body line delivery at your throat.
Yes.
He doesn't give away runs. He picks wickets in the power play. So Nokia is going to be a big threat in the power play for the Sri Lankan batsmen.
For the Sri Lankan bowling then, Nikhil, batting, yes, have been strong. You've seen players put their hand up as and when needed. You saw even Kushal Perera get runs in the last game. There's, of course, Rajapaksha, who's been batting well for them. Asalanka, who's been batting well. But the bowling, especially the fast bowlers, I think they've let them down.
Yeah, I mean, Sri Lanka is not known for their fast bowlers. They have a couple of, talented fast bowlers in this team. But Sri Lanka, I mean, except for Chaminda Vas and back in the day, Pramodia Vikramsinghe, I can't recall any, really fine Sri Lankan fast bowler. Malinga, of course, Malinga. How can we forget the great Malinga? But, Sri Lanka is known for its spinners, Muralidharan, Mendes.
True.
So, in this team today, the one bowler I'm looking forward to who can be the game changer against South Africa is none other than the brilliant leg spinner Wanindu Hasaranga. He has absolutely stunning numbers, since his debut across formats. He has taken 91 T20 wickets in just 65 innings at an incredible strike rate of 14.7. So he strikes approximately every 15 deliveries in T20 cricket. That's brilliant. He has an economy rate of just 6.4 and he has an average of 14 and a strike rate of just economy of just 6.36 in T20I cricket for Sri Lanka. So this Hasaranga is not only a master restrictor, he's also a wicket taker. He could bowl in the power play, he will bowl in the middle overs. He's going to be a big threat. Also, one more player I'm looking forward to, Meha, in Sri Lanka is this extremely talented batsman, the left-hander Asalanka, who has already played a couple of great knocks in this tournament, 80 and 30 odd. Mickey Arthur says he's amongst the best batsmen, most talented batsmen in the Sri Lankan domestic circuit. And let's not forget, he was the player of the series in the ODI series recently against South Africa in 2021. So Asalanka is a very, very dangerous middle order, top order batsman.
What are the other key battles that you're looking forward to? Because I think one would come down to the Sri Lankan spinners versus their middle order batsmen.
I think there are three key battles, Meha, which will define this match. One is definitely between Hasaranga and the experienced South African left-hander David Miller, because the ball will come into David Miller, which will be easier. He can go with the flow. Sharjah has small boundaries. He can clear them easily if Miller is in song. Then I'm looking at Asalanka, the left-hander. We just spoke about him, and Nokia. That battle, will be absolutely sensational. A talented batsman against the bowler who's in the form of his life. And then I'm looking at the Sri Lankan opener, Kusal Perera, who's been in great form, whether he can give Sri Lanka rollicking starts against the pace of Kagiso Rabada. These are three battles which can potentially define the match.
Yes, so it is an important match for these two teams. Remember, there is Australia and England sitting at the top of that points table, but South Africa are in the number 3 place, followed by Sri Lanka. And I think whoever wins here today gets that chance, can have the hopes of going through to the top of the table. So all to play for these two teams. Nikhil Narayan, thank you so much for joining us. That was our match preview for Sri Lanka versus South Africa. The match is about to begin in 15 minutes from now. We'll be back with the latest here on News 9. Keep watching all the updates. Goodbye.